Okay, it's time to talk about the greatest test that any marriage or any relationship will ever go through, which is decorating a home together. I'm kind of joking, but not really. Any interior designer who works with a couple will tell you that 90% of their job is couples counseling. 90% of the job of designing with a couple is trying to teach them to trust each other, to give flexibility to each other, to concede on certain things. And even a couple who has a tremendous amount of trust and mutual respect can struggle in this area. So if that's you, don't freak out. We're gonna talk about why and what's going on and what you can do and how you can keep your marriage or relationship, or maybe this is your roommate or whatever, but for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna keep saying relationship. Let's kick it. Subscribers have been asking me to make this video forever, and I have been stewing on it for quite a long time. It's hard enough to execute a design vision in your home just for yourself, let alone when you're trying to combine visions with somebody else. It's very, very challenging, and at the end of this video, you're gonna feel way better about it, and you're not gonna hate each other so much. Okay, first and foremost, we have to talk about a few like couples therapy things, genuinely. First, accepting that designing with someone else will likely take you a bit longer than doing it on your own. And that is the case with a lot of things when you're in relationship with someone. Maybe I could do it faster on my own. Maybe I wouldn't have to run ideas by somebody else, but that's not the point of being in relationship. Like, hopefully there's a pretty positive trade-off here. It might take a little more time, but in exchange, you get to live with your partner or your roommate or your friend and also maintain like a nourishing environment together. So if it's taking you a little bit more time, don't freak out. Number two, major call out. Designing with somebody else requires a whole different kind of trust that you have to establish together that you probably don't have yet. Even for a couple that has a ton of trust and mutual respect, this is like a whole new arena. For a lot of couples, it's the first time they're going to do a legit group project or creative project together. That's a big deal. And that is a whole new arena to develop mutual trust in. For example, like you could be a couple who's very trusting, has all this fidelity and mutual respect, and then you go rock climbing together for the first time. It might be hard to trust that you're safe out there when your partner's belaying you. It's not because you don't trust or respect them or their judgment or their skills at all. It's just that this is a new arena, and it really is the same with designing a room. I don't know that you're good at this yet. I don't know that we're gonna align yet. It's that kind of thing. So building that trust, it starts from zero, it's gonna take time, and we're gonna talk about how you do it. So number one thing you gotta do that couples are not doing enough is you need to provide a ton of visuals. Nobody else can see the vision that's in your head, even though it feels so clear and so obvious and so good to you. No one else can see the vision in your head. This remains true even when you're like a professional designer talking to other professionals. The vision is so personal, it's so specific, and you've spent way more time with it alone in your head than you're even aware of. So while you're still working on building that like design creative trust with your partner, you have to rely on visuals. Treat them like a suspicious landlord who's like, don't mess up my home. It can be really low res, really simple. It can be a collage. It can be reference photos. It can be a collection of reference photos. It can be a drawing. I think a collage is really helpful to like see pieces together. It doesn't have to be a full-blown mock-up. Whatever tools you want to use to get a visualization, I promise you a huge part of the disconnect that's happening is because one person is assuming the other person is visualizing the same thing as them, but they're not. It's a visual medium. Do not rely just on language. Rely on the visuals to paint the picture.
Okay, now don't do this. I often receive messages from subscribers saying, my style is Victorian grandma, but my partner's style is Scandi. How do we combine them? Stop. You are already hurting yourselves. Do not box yourselves in with these incredibly unhelpful umbrella design style names. Besides, most people's belongings, the things they actually own and decorate with, almost never reflect just one style. And the hotel interiors, home interiors, restaurant interiors that a single person enjoys being in rarely are limited to just one style. But they do usually have some characteristics in common, like cozy, layered, lots of pattern, or airy, light colors, uncluttered. And when you talk about these characteristics, rather than these enormous umbrella design styles, it will help you and your partner find that you have way more overlap than you expected.
Because, for example, somebody who says they like a Victorian grandma style, what you might actually mean is that you like a moody and cozy style. And if that's the case, you might also like this style, which is neither Victorian nor grandma. Or you might be describing yourself as Victorian grandma style because you like a lot of antiques and a lot of pattern. And if that's the case, then you might like this, which might well be appealing to your partner who really likes brighter, fresher spaces. Or this, which is colorful and layered, but might appeal to someone who likes things minimal and light. Or for someone who says they only like Scandi style, what they might actually mean is that they like a room that feels minimal, fresh, and modern. Like this, even though this room also uses rich jewel tones and colorful walls, which might appeal to someone with Victorian grandma taste. Basically, you will discover that you have a lot more common ground once you stop using these ridiculous umbrella design terms and start using descriptors and get really granular with what you like, what you don't, and why you like it. And finding language for a visual medium can be really hard if you're not used to doing it, so I'm going to link a huge list of design adjectives that might feel helpful as you're describing things together. It's free to access. I'll put it in the description of this video. Okay, that brings me to something you should not do. You will go straight to jail. I will personally come to your front door and arrest you if you do this particular behavior. Now, this is what I'm picturing. A couple, okay? And one person is going out and they're bringing home decor items and they're sending photos of tables and they're picking out paint samples and they're testing out paint. And the other partner comes in and is just like, I don't like that.
Right to jail.
I don't know about that.
Jail.
I don't know. I don't really want to do that.
Believe it or not, jail.
You can say no to things, but you better be showing up with alternative options, because that behavior is the equivalent of the couple dynamic of being like, what do you want for dinner? Oh, I don't know, anything. What about pizza? No. What about sushi? No. What about Thai? No. Dude, you gotta start coming up with some options or you're not allowed to veto anymore. So do not be this person. If you expect to have like a 50-50 equal say in designing your home, make sure that the amount you are vocalizing your opinion is proportionate to the effort and research and options you're bringing to the table. You better be putting in the work, doing the research, bringing the inspo photos, trying to source things, putting together ideas as much as the other person. And if you're with a partner who is like not doing that, like any other couples conflict you have to negotiate, just let them know. I really want this space to be like energizing and satisfy both of us. I'm putting in so much effort. I really would love for you to bring some things to the table that you would like. It's very likely that they aren't aware how much time and effort goes into just picking a sofa, goes into just looking at options for a pillow. It's an incredible amount of time and effort, which you like only begin to appreciate once you start trying to do it. So I do think that's very, very important. Or else, I'd be mad. That being said, not every couple wants to be designing 50-50. I feel like often it can be like an 80-20 split. There's one person who cares a lot more, maybe about aesthetics, and there's another person who just like really doesn't like certain colors and wants to avoid that, or really wants to make sure enough of their art and travel souvenirs are visible and on display. Or one person really, really just wants to optimize functionality and floor plan, and then after that, they're kind of flexible on aesthetics. So having that conversation of like, what matters to you? What are the hills you're gonna die on? Because it might not just be a 50-50 thing. And this might be a room by room basis. For example, Justin, my fiance, cares a lot about functionality in the kitchen because he's our chef. He was very adamant on the functionality matching the way he works in the kitchen. And then after that, he was kind of hands off with aesthetics. In other rooms, he doesn't care as much about layout or whatever. It's specific to that room. Or maybe your partner's office or the living room or whatever is important to them. It could be a room by room basis, but once you nail down what is important to who, then you can figure out what you're willing to concede on. And you are gonna have to concede on things, okay? Again, this is the trade-off of being in relationship, is that it's gonna be different than doing something completely alone. It should be a benefit. But for me, if there's a room where Justin is really, functionality and layout is high priority to him, I'm gonna concede that. I might not put the table where I want the table, but I will take the win of then, making aesthetic choices as I like. So you have to concede in places. Other giant tip I'd give for couples or roommates navigating different design requests in a space is taking the time to rank how important that design request is for you. This is something that we overlook all the time, I think, in relationship communication, is saying on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you that we use this old table you have in the room? If it's a, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, I'm gonna find a way to make it work. But you can't be a 10 on everything. Or your partner might be like, oh, I'd really like this room to be yellow. Well, that doesn't work with my moody vision. In no world does that work with my moody vision. Okay, you like yellow, how important is that to you? Oh, it's just kind of a 3 out of 10, it'd be cool, but I'm not gonna die on it. Okay, sweet, maybe there's a different room that could be yellow that would work better for. Now let's say you're looking at an empty room and you're trying to figure out what to do with it, and you have one brilliant idea and your partner has another brilliant idea. Well, what if we just did 50-50? What if we just combined them 50-50? Let's see what would happen. Let's go back to the Scandi Victorian grandma. Okay, so we got our Scandi room. This is a photo I found online of a Scandi room, and an image I found online of Victorian grandma room. And let's say we just take 50% of each and put them together in a room together. That's a compromise, right? And now we have a room that is neither Scandi, nor is it Victorian grandma. Now, you guys might end up liking this room. That would be great. That would be a win. Good for you. Get out of here. You're done. But if you're the person who's really looking for that light and bright, minimal Scandi feel, you probably don't like this room anymore. And if you're the person who really wants that super moody, super cozy, enveloping feel, you also probably aren't happy with this room. So now we have a compromise where both people are dissatisfied. To me, that is not a win. Sometimes the thing that you want to do when you're torn between one vision and a second vision is consider a third vision altogether. This is difficult because I think that when you develop a real vision for a space, you can get very attached to it. I get very attached, emotionally. I'm set on it. I do not want to take steps back. I figured it out, this is correct. Why aren't you here with me? But if you guys are really there's not good overlap for these two visions, at a certain point, it's really important to take a step back and remember that there are other styles and other spaces on Earth that you have enjoyed before. So let's both do the difficult thing of trying to remember what those other options and other things are. And maybe neither of us are gonna do our first choice here. Maybe we're both gonna end up going with a second choice. And that actually can be really good. You're gonna have to keep reminding yourself that there is more than just one room style that you will enjoy. You have enjoyed a lot of different kinds of rooms before. And getting attached to a certain vision gets very restricting and it can really narrow your view, but there are other options you would enjoy for this room. It takes work, creative work, especially when you're collaborating, but it can land you on something much better. And then the best part is that you get to be in a room with your partner and they're happy, and that's a bonus too. Combining design styles is a lot about finding the overlap in the Venn diagram of function and style. What dining chair will have both a divine profile and still be comfortable enough to work in? This one. It's the timeless design conundrum that is not limited to interior decorating. It's everywhere in life. For example, what bra won't trigger my scoliosis back pain and yet is still cute as a bumblebee? The answer is, of course, Skims. That's a segue. It's a segue. It's a segue. People went crazy for this bralette the last time I showed it in a video, so I'd like to thank Skims for sponsoring this video.
for helping me avoid my scoliosis back pain, and for bringing this impeccable color combination into my life. I am wearing Skims Lace Scoop bralette from their lightweight cotton collection. This is in the color Carnation Contrast. I also have it in the color Snow. And Skims lightweight cotton collection is an entire collection that is super light, super breathable, great for the humidity that is now coming upon us in DC, but is also elevated with these sweet little design details. This is a bralette I love to wear just around the house, being lazy but being cute, doing projects such as in this DIY project that you haven't even seen yet coming up on the channel. And in addition to having just incredible color options, this bralette has all the features that I need in a bralette, which is there is a thicker strap. It is not a spaghetti strap. There is a wide band across the bottom, but Skims makes it cute by making it lace. And then there is a full width band across the back. Those are all features that are simple but crucial to me for evenly dispersing weight across my back and across my spine so that I don't get back pain from the scoliosis that I've had since I was 7. Plus, look how cute. Come on. Come on. Skims is the Venn diagram for that place of function, comfort, and style 100% of the time. They have different seasonal colors all the time, so I would go and check like what their seasonal colors are. But you can shop all my favorite Skims bras and underwear at skims.com. And if you guys love me, remember to let them know I sent you. You'll get a survey after checkout. You can just click YouTube and my name. The end.
Or another common thing I find is a lot of men are I think it's often a lot of men in particular are very passionate about they want to have their souvenirs visible. They want to have their posters or their personal memorabilia visible and on display proudly. And if it clashes with the other person's style, you can fix so much in the framing, in the matting. You have a weird colored piece of art or a jersey or a memorabilia blanket or something, put it in a beautiful white mat, put it in a beautiful wood frame, and it can go pretty much anywhere, I promise you. In that case, I would highly, highly invest in getting proper, beautiful framing for the wall art and things that your partner wants around. And it's gonna make them super happy. It's gonna make the wall art shine. Your home is gonna be full of personalized, beautifully framed pieces then. And then it might be a situation where they're kind of happy from there and you can kind of do whatever you want. I see that in couples a lot.
Fabulous. Now let's walk through a specific example and the decision tree of the process you might use.
Recently in our bedroom, loyal subscribers already know this anecdote. My fiance kind of casually floated that he would enjoy the bedroom being yellow. That really did not jive with the moody, vibey, cloudy, kind of dusty vision I had for the room. But I wanted to rise to the occasion, and here's what helped me. A lot of times in a couple, one person just cares about the room being a certain color. They always wanted to have that blue bedroom, or they always wanted to have that yellow sunroom, or whatever. Justin really wanted a yellow bedroom. Cool. I can adjust my vision. And then I have to think about what is the ranking for me. Is this a total deal breaker? Or is this something that I'm it doesn't really align with the vision I had in my head, but I'm not objectively opposed to the color yellow. For example, if Justin came to me and asked for an aqua bedroom, that's a deal breaker.
I can't think of a color I hate more, actually, than aqua.
Our relationship's over. We are not gonna make it through living in an aqua bedroom together. I'm gonna be a nightmare. That's a deal breaker. Can we consider a second color option? You both are gonna have vetoes and deal breakers. Say it in a nice way. But in this case, I like yellow. I'm literally wearing a yellow shirt right now. It just didn't happen to be the vision I'd already gotten attached to for our room. So if that's the case, okay, I have flexibility on this. Then my mission is to do some design research, expose myself to some inspiration so that I can find the way that I can be genuinely excited about having yellow bedroom, because there is a way. I started by looking up different shades of yellow, because you can do a sunburst yellow. You can do a dirty orange yellow. You can do a chartreusey yellow. You can go very buttery, soft yellow. And that's what ended up feeling the best to me, is like a very like creamy, buttery, barely yellow, but it's like the shirt I'm wearing basically. I like that color. And then the next step is to look at color palettes that inspire you. Because to me, it's like, okay, I'm okay with buttery yellow, but I'm really good with this color combination. So it's like, Justin might like that the yellow's there, but I love the way these colors work together. And that is the color palette that we took to our bedroom. And it's delicious. I love it so much. He loves it so much. I'm so glad that I took the turn into his vision of that paint color. I love the bedroom. If you're not following along to the home decorating vlogs, what you doing? They're so much fun. They're so great, they're so much fun. You'll learn, you'll grow, you'll cry, you'll laugh. So in summary, paint color choices end up being a big bottleneck for couples. So if your partner has a color request, first ask, is this a total deal breaker to me? And be honest, be generous, okay? It can't be that 50% of the colors on earth are deal breakers. No, that's not a deal breaker. You're not being very flexible. You're not conceding or collaborating. If it is a deal breaker, say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I really want to make you happy with this room, but that is like one of my least favorite colors. Is there like a second choice color that we could do? Maybe we'll agree on that. Say it in a nice way. Or if it's not a deal breaker color, we're gonna look at paint swatches and we're gonna look at color palettes that excite us. And of course, like room inspo, you can get on Pinterest too. But basically my approach when a client or my partner gives me like a design wrench that I'm like, shoot, that threw me off course. My mission then, as far as I'm concerned, is to find a way that I can be genuinely excited about the color. Not muscling through it, genuinely excited. That means I'm gonna look at a ton of inspo. I am going to slow down. I'm going to slightly release my grip on that vision I was attached to before and let myself just be open to other visions that enjoy this color. You can find something that you are genuinely jazzed about. It just takes a little more time. Okay, baby boys, I could literally give like 1,000 more tips for this topic. We're gonna call it at that for today. But if you guys want another video on this topic, please let me know. Feel free to even comment like a specific design conundrum that you're encountering while combining styles with your partner, or a specific, I don't know, design choice you're trying to navigate. I could do so many videos on this topic. I have so many more tips, but like also, I think I'm dehydrated right now. That's the main reason I have to go. Sorry, I'm zoning out. That little smirk is cute. Do a little arms crossed with me. More like you're like pouting. Oh, my earring just.
I don't ever pout.
Yeah, actually, just do your relaxed face. Kind of like. A little smirk. What else? Let's do like look at each other with like an eyebrow raise. Like, what are we gonna do here? And then maybe like a wary grimace. Okay, a little
angry.
Well, a little less positive. Like, nice. That was good.